following podcast is recorded and produced by 𝗏𝗏, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Guys, welcome back to the Virtuosos. This is a very rare occurrence here. I am like literally with nobody. Like I can't even look to the left or the right. I'm here with y'all. So, this is a one-on-one. Something I can relate to today's topic, and it is college. Now, I did do 2 years of college. I graduated with an associate's degree at what's it called now? SUNY Niagara. It was Niagara County College. Community college when I went there, but they changed their name. So I'm gonna give advice to you freshmen that's coming in. I think this is your first week, or last week was your first week, whatever the case may be. I mean, even people that can watch this months from now, years from now, just giving y'all some advice and some tips that not only did I use, but I wish I would have used. So one of the tips, and this is not chronological, this is not no order like, oh, this is most important and least important. I think all of these are relatively important to your college experience. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. One that I wrote down was personally meeting your professors. Now, I am more on the shy side, and it took me about a week or two to do this, but better late than never. Your professors have, it's not like high school. High school, you see the same teacher every day. They have about the same 5-6 classes. Your professors is thousands of people inside the same building, and you're gonna have tons of students. And your best bet to me is walking up to your professor after the first week of classes, giving them a handshake, introducing yourself. Now, me personally, I've had great experience with all of my professors. I didn't have a bad one. I can't tell you what a bad professor is, but from all my professors, I met them personally. Handshake them. You ain't gotta be their best friend or whatever, but just going up to them, greeting them, kind of, getting to know them, building a relationship with them goes a long way. You kind of build, relationships with your high school teachers as well, and, it makes it easier for you to, go to the class, ask questions. It takes the nerves down, especially for the freshmen in college. It takes the nerves down when you meet a professor professionally. Not professionally, but, personally. So that would be, a tip and advice that I would use. Me and your professor, talking to him a little bit, kind of getting to know him or her, and, it kind of eases your nerves. I know you're nervous. I know it's your first week, new unknown. So that's definitely going to take the nervousness now. Number 2, you have to at least make one friend, man. I ain't going to lie. You got to make one friend. You got to make one friend that you didn't know prior to college. All right, now it's going to be tough, but you got classes, you got the hallways, you got, maybe you go out to lunch, parties, whatever the case may be. You make one friend, all right? Because if you're going to college, especially if you're going out of state, out of town, whatever the case may be, you're going out there and you're constantly, let me text my friend from home, let me this and this and that. You're going to start relying on people that you used to in your old city, right? When you start building connections at the place that you are at currently, it helps build your character. It gets the nervousness. It shakes the shakiness out of what you're doing, So it's hard to make friends as you get older. But, obviously y'all under the same building. It don't take much to walk up to somebody and say, hi, nice to meet you. Ask them a question or two, kind of get to know them. Even if it's not even a person in your class. You're eating somewhere, you see that person eating there with you a lot, go up to them, meet them, and even if you're shy, do it in class. Ask, it could be as simple as asking somebody for, study time, work time, whatever the case may be. But to me, making at least one friend or one person that you can rely on that's in campus, that's on campus with you, goes a long way. So that's another tip I would do. The next one is budgeting your money. Now, if you are going out of town, out of state, you may have saved up money. Obviously you get the money that, the school give you or whatever. It is going to be tough to budget your money because you don't have an financial advisor. You're not under your parents no more. Your parents can only help you from so far. So you going out there and you spending money at these parties, or you buying all this food that's going to waste in a week, or you buying clothes and you don't have books, binders, paper, stuff like that. You got to budget your money. My number one thing, to me, all the money you saved up goes to food and stuff you need for school. All right. Now, I'm not going to overdo it with the school stuff. I would say, start off with some notebooks and some paper. You're definitely going to write a lot of notes in college. I would recommend writing notes in college. So, you at least get you a handy dandy notebook and paper and pencil to start off that first week. Then whatever the colleges ask you after that, you go ahead and do. I know me personally, when I went to college, it was way more electronic, way more like laptops, even on your phone, stuff like that. So you didn't really need binders or that many notebooks, but at least get you a notebook and a pen to write down with. Another thing, which I didn't even have written down, but it helped me a lot. I know everybody goes on tours an hour before your first class, your first day. I know you're probably nervous. I would get to campus, to school, 30 minutes to an hour early and walk to all of your classes. This was an underrated one. I did this because obviously you probably went there, you probably visited there during the summer or whenever you did, and you seen how many people was there and you was just excited to be there. But it's your first day, probably got, you're amped up. I would go there 30 minutes or an hour before your class start and walk through all your classes. Do it 2, 3, maybe 3, maybe 4 times. Go to all your classes, so not only you're not late, you know where you're going, and you kind of can measure how much time you got in between classes. Maybe to go get a drink, go get some food. So that would be another one that I would do. Another tip that I would do and it goes back to with the notes and the notebook, having a planner / notebook. Now, in college, again, it's very, very easy to procrastinate, thinking about a lot of things. You got a lot of classes, a lot of assignments. If you just have a planner, if you want to go ahead and study this day, do the homework the next, or, you got a test Friday, so you need to study Thursday and Wednesday, but you got to make sure your homework assignment is done Tuesday. If you write out these things, you don't have to, put all this knowledge and all of these assignments and, all these other activities in your head at the same time, because you're going to end up overwhelming yourself and you're not going to give your best work. So to me, if I'm you, I'm going to just go ahead, get a planner, even if you got a notebook, write down, okay, Monday I'm going to do this, Thursday I'm going to do this, Friday I'm going to do this. Keep it at a 5-day thing. Obviously, some teachers tell you weeks in advance you have tests or things coming up. I would just do it week by week. So, you're not going to overplan or do too much. So that's what I would do. At least get a planner or notebook. And another thing, speaking of that topic, is managing your studying and your homework time. Now, to me, studying, I really did not study that much in high school. I'll be really honest. I'm going to keep it a buck. I did not really study that much in high school. In college, I had to study. Had to switch gear, had to switch focus, because the number one thing in college, which you don't realize, is these professors are not on top of you as much as your high school teachers are. So your high school teachers are going to, they're going to engrave over and over and over again what you need to do. Like, they're going to tell you what's on the test, basically, and they're going to put it in your heads day and day and day. Professors, they're going to tell you when the test is, they're going to tell you what's on there. They're gonna leave it to you. Whatever else you do after that is what you do. So you gotta manage your study time. 30 minutes to an hour a day. If you do longer, do longer. Even if you want to, even if the teacher's lecturing, and I was not the best at listening to lectures, even if during the lectures you're studying, you're looking at things, do your notes, that goes a long way into your test. Because I'm telling y'all, it don't matter how good you do your homework assignments and all that, you fail them big tests, your grade is going to plummet significantly. So if I'm you, you got to manage your homework and your studying time. Do your homework and studying as much as possible, especially your homework. Get the homework out the way as quick as possible. You're new to college. It's a fresh experience. You don't want to sit there and dread, you have all this fun, you're doing all these things, and then at 10 o'clock p.m., 11 o'clock p.m., you're doing your homework and you're studying. It's not going to go well. So get your homework, your studying done as much as possible. And my last one that is very major, obviously there's some minor ones, but the last one that's really key is your classes / major. Now, I didn't have this experience. I've known one person that done this. They go to school the first 2 weeks. Either they don't like the major or they don't like the class. Which, to me, I feel like, again, if you meet your professor, you talk to them, you get to know them, they seem cool. I don't know how you don't like your class the first 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. It might be an adjustment thing, stuff like that. Don't quit, y'all. Do not give up in 2 to 3 weeks. This is what I do, and this is the mindset I had in school. When you first start off school or a semester or anything of that nature, you're basically, those first few weeks, you're basically learning, or not learning, you're getting retaught stuff you should already know. And then the professor or teacher is slowly bringing in the new stuff. So if you can't handle that process, that's when you back out. Don't back out the 3rd day of classes, the 4th day of classes. You don't even you don't know the whole gimmick of what's going on. So I'm that 3rd to 4th week, that after that end of the first month, that's when I would make that decision, because it's a huge decision. It really is. Switching classes or switching, it can mess up your whole schedule. It could change a lot of things. So if I'm you, I'm gonna wait out. Obviously, like I said, the teachers and professors, they're gonna come in at first. They're gonna reteach you the things that you should know, and then slowly bring in the new stuff. When they slowly bring in the new stuff, if you're like, oh, okay, I'm way more behind than I am, you ask for help. Quitting or dropping out should be your last resort. I'll be honest. You're already out there, especially if you coming in from a new city, a new town. Dropping out should be your last resort. All right, granted, college is not for everybody, but you put in all this work, you're happy to be here, try to stick it out as long as you can. All right, that's all my advice. I mean, obviously, you got some smaller ones, get good sleep. I really don't have much. I mean, I wasn't a good lecture listener, if that's even a thing. Teacher talk 40 minutes, it's 9 in the morning, you probably half sleep. So, I mean, if you're one of those people, sit in the front, don't sit in the back, because you're going to go to sleep. And most professors, my professors, most of them woke me up, but others might not even care. You might just sleep through the whole thing, not learn anything. Then you don't have no friends, because I just told you make friends. You didn't make no friends, so you don't have nobody to ask. You see? So, if you fall asleep a lot, sit in the front. You can't sit in the front, get 10 hours of sleep. Go to sleep at 7 o'clock p.m. If you got a class at 9 a.m., you can't stay up, go to sleep way earlier. Because I'm telling you, there's some professors that will just let you sleep, and you are going to miss out on the whole thing. So, doing that, I would not waste all my money on, it's not really a waste if it's food, but, people DoorDash. You may have to get up sometimes and go walk somewhere and go get you some food, man, because the DoorDash gonna pile up, and you don't even know. You might DoorDash, they might drop your food off in front of the entire campus or something like that. So, begin, like I said, manage your money. Don't go into too much school supply shopping until you learn these teachers and learn what they want out of you, because again, when I went to school, it was way more electronic based. It was way more, you just need this app on your computer or your phone. Go in there. Most of the stuff's on there. You may have to buy a book or two. Don't buy no schools. Don't come in there with 4 binders, 3 notebooks, 2 pens. Relax. Wait until you meet your teachers and find out what they want out of you. Then you go buy the school supplies. So, I hope I helped anybody in this video. I appreciate you guys for listening to the end. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next video.